Champlin Park leads the Northwest Suburban Conference in boys basketball this winter. And tonight, the Rebels will look to stay unbeaten in the league as they take on the Maple Grove Crimson. Hello and welcome to Champlin Park High School. John Jacobson and Jay Wilcox. And Jay, the second meeting of the season between these two teams. First game very early on in the year. Champlin Park won, but only by 3 points.
I have to think Mark Tucksher, the Rebels coach, John, is probably happy that they had that close game the first time around. They've got a huge game with Armstrong coming up later this week. Obviously, they cannot afford to look past this Maple Grove team, and all he has to do is point at the score from the first time to know that Maple Grove's definitely capable of playing with them.
Crimson come in 11-5 on the season. The Rebels 15-1. And while you wouldn't call Maple Grove a plodding team, they probably don't run as much as Champlin Park does. They like to get up and down the court in a hurry.
Yeah, they really play 3 and sometimes 4 guards at a time. And Maple Grove coach Nick Schroeder said, you know, we have to keep them out of transition. That's our #1 goal tonight. It doesn't mean we're going to stall. It doesn't mean we're going to hold the ball, things like that. But it means that we can't let the Rebels get a lot of layups. One quick way to do that is to make sure you take care of the basketball at your own end.
So for Maple Grove, it's taking care of tempo, the key for them.
Yeah, I think there's no doubt about it. They have to rebound well too, but making sure that the Rebels have to work for their hoops and aren't getting 2-on-1s and easy layups is really going to tell the tale for Maple Grove. If Champlin Park is able to run the way they want to, this should be their game, but if Maple Grove is able to stop that, they definitely have a chance.
Let's look at our key players, starting with Maple Grove, and the guy who's just a freshman, Brad Davison, having a great season.
Well, he's really stepped in at the varsity level and done a tremendous job, John, averaging 6 assists per game, 6.2 a game, also over 13 points and a couple of steals. He's going to be counted on to handle the ball a lot tonight and will have to take care of the basketball. But boy, he's shown as a freshman that he is not intimidated by being in this league.
For Champlin Park, Jay talked about the 4 guards that really start on the court, but we're going to talk about their forward, a great senior by the name of Brennan Witt.
Well, Brennan right now I think is playing as well as anybody in this conference. They have 5 guys in double figures, but he leads the way at about just under 17 points per ball game. Just a smooth baseline scorer. He has good footwork, can shoot the ball, stepping out to the 3-point line as well, and just presents a lot of matchup problems for a lot of teams, and just definitely has become really one of the probably unsung great players around the Twin Cities.
Should be a good one tonight. Maple Grove, Champlin Park, boys basketball, and it's coming up next right here on 12 Sports.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. If you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills 1 person every hour. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. Follow through and check your skin. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life. National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life.
You always made sure I brushed my teeth.
You told me that smart was cool.
You always told me to dream big.
To all of those parents who took the time to make raising their children their most important job, we'd like to say,
thank you.
Thank you.
From the bottom of my heart, thanks, Mom and Dad.
This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
John Jacobson and Jay Wilcox with you live on this Tuesday night from Champlin Park High School. Maple Grove 11-5. Champlin Park 15 more to go. Number 1 in Class 4A. Starting lineups for tonight's game.
6'2", senior forward, number 44, Matthew Lindgren.
Davis in the guards. Lindgren and Taylor Schott are the forwards, and Reed Nico is the center. And for Champlin Park, Marty Hill, Jeremy Johnson, J.T. Gibson, and Ian Smith, the guards. Brennan Witt, the forward. There are 5 guys there, Jay, in Champlin Park, that can all move pretty well. And they don't have like a true center like a Reed Nico, but their style obviously works well for them. Their personnel is a good fit for the game they play.
Yeah, and it hasn't seemed to hurt them that they don't have size, because they've got guys with some length. They've got guys who are athletic that can go get the ball off the glass if needed. But yeah, they just have a lot of guys who are basketball players. More than any certain position, they do a lot of things well. They run. They're averaging just about 85.5 points per ball game. So obviously they've been able to put the ball in the basket against a lot. And I think that's part of it too, is their versatility. We've been talking about them pushing the tempo. But this is not a team that collapses and doesn't know what to do if they're forced to play a half-court game. They've got shooters and they've got athletes with speed, and that's been a combination that the other teams have just found hard to defense this year.
Good crowd on hand tonight here at Champlin Park. Getting wet, the last of the starters to be introduced for the Rebels. And we're ready for this one. As Jay mentioned, a big game for Champlin Park coming up on Fridays. They will travel to Plymouth to take on the Armstrong Falcons. And Maple Grove, with a big non-conference test Thursday night, they will face the Hopkins Royals.
Yeah, a couple of quality opponents ahead for both these teams, but you don't get to be a conference champion by forgetting to show up on a Tuesday night when you've got a big one on Thursday or Friday. And that's something that these teams obviously are both talking a lot about, is that you got to be ready for this one. And it would be a huge feather in the cap for Maple Grove if they were able to pull off a win. And Champlin Park certainly as the favorite. They have not had many lapses where they didn't play well. Their only loss was to Hopkins, who is obviously a very good team as well, ranked number 2. And then quite honestly, the Royals coaches raved about Champlin Park. They felt that they were a very good team, a team that is capable of winning a state championship this year if everything falls into place for them. So they're certainly among the elite the way they've been playing so far.
Jay and I are situated behind the student section of Champlin Park, all of which are standing. We may end up watching this game off the monitor, much like you are at home. And we are underway. Champlin Park controlling the opening possession. Jeremy Johnson, very good scoring attack. As we mentioned, all these guys averaging in double figures. Wett missing on the first try, and Marty Hill has it. Witt spinning inside, and he's fouled by Reed Nico, the big 6'8" sophomore.
Nico's a good shot blocker, and Witt looking to attack him when he was one-on-one. The first shot, somebody got a piece of a little bit as he swooped in with the left hand, but he stayed with it and went back at Nico and is able to draw the foul. Interesting, Maple Grove said, we'd like to get Witt in foul trouble, and he's able to get an early one on his counterpart Nico at this end.
Misses the first foul shot. Witt averaging 16.9 points per game. Second one also off the mark, and the rebound by Schott. So no points in that possession for the Rebels. Now Maple Grove with the basketball for the first time.
You hate to get an early foul, but when the guy misses them both, it certainly doesn't feel quite as bad.
Schott on the baseline, back out. Parker, out of Davison. And Smith guarding him. Parker, and it's off the hands of Matt Lindgren in the backcourt in the turnover. Look at Nick Schroeder, Osseo High School graduate, 4th-year head coach at Maple Grove High School, 11-5 overall, 6-5 in the Northwest Suburban Conference.
Turnovers are something that he was very much concerned about here tonight, and that last one was a case in point right there, although at least for their sake it went out of bounds instead of leading to a hoop.
Witt high off the glass, missed the shot, and Jay 1 minute into the game, and 2 fouls now on Reed Nico.
Tough situation for the Crimson. They're almost certainly going to have to sub early, and Coach Schroeder pleading his player's case there a little bit. That felt like there wasn't a lot of contact there, but Witt, Rebels doing a good job of providing enough space for him to just go at it and attack, and it's just a tough luck thing. Nico, that's part of his game, obviously, is being a shot blocker, and they're also without one of their other guys up front tonight, Jake Sterling, who's out, so we're going to see a lot of that guy, Coyote Awasika, the 6'5" sophomore.
Awasika in for Nico. Witt 1 out of 2 this time on the free throws. And Davison into the front court. Ball knocked away from Lindgren. Loose on the sideline, another turnover for Maple Grove. Johnson quickly, front court jumper, offside 3 is good for Ian Smith, and a quick early timeout for Nick Schroeder and the Crimson.
Exactly what Champlin Park is looking to do, push the ball up court, and here's what I talked about, versatility. They pushed for a 3 that time. You know, you're not always going to get a layup. Maple Grove did do a decent job of getting back, but they didn't quite get out and close out enough on Smith. And obviously people who've watched the Rebels know that that is a shot that Ian Smith can take and make, and he's not the only guy on the team that's capable of that type of thing. I like the way they play with a lot of confidence too. It's just, besides having talent, it's a real veteran group, and they just seem to be in a groove this year. They share the ball well, and people aren't worried about taking shots or do I take a shot or not. And Mark Tucksher has got them, you know, playing great basketball this year.
15-1 overall. Their only loss coming to Hopkins. And 10-0 in the Northwest Suburban Conference. Davison front court. Off to Barker. Shot pops out for it, and the steal. Here comes Smith back the other way. Missed it. Johnson fouls up and scores.
Maple Grove running into all kinds of trouble with turnovers early on here.
Baseline jumper comes up short for Tawan Pickford, and back come the Rebels again. Nice pass to Smith. Tip up is up and in for Witt.
And that's what getting out and running can do for you. You missed that first shot, but there's obviously not much of a blockout possibility for the Crimson, so they just went to the glass hard.
Tawan Pickford, a freshman, a couple of freshmen in the lineup. Here's the other one. Davison driving and scores and gets Maple Grove on the board.
They badly needed that one. It was a pretty disastrous start for them, other than the fact that Witt missed those free throws. And now the Rebels have a rather careless turnover at their offensive end. You look at Davison able to finish off the glass in traffic there.
Crimson trailing 8-2. That ball deflected by the Rebels out of bounds.
Maple Grove, I think, needs to get a little bit better about maybe setting up with a V-cut. There is something to come out and get the ball harder. There have been a lot of passes tipped so far. Rebels are doing a good job, but nothing really out of the ordinary defensively.
Pickford drives, has his shot blocked. Back comes Marty Hill the other way for Champlin Park. Here's Witt, and he finishes for 2 more.
Strong move, and then finishing with the finger roll there for Witt. He is a dangerous guy one-on-one.
A bump away from the basket. We're going to get a foul on Witt. But, you know, we talked to Nick Schroeder about before the game, so we got to take care of the basketball. I mean, everything that they could have scripted is going against what they wanted coming out of the first 3.5 minutes of this game.
Yeah, that's what I was saying. Aside from the fact that Witt missed 3 out of those first 4 free throws, everything pretty much went right for the Rebels.
Davison gets their second basket of the game.
And they're going to need to be efficient making shots when they get an opportunity.
Witt going baseline, and he gets fouled by Awasika.
Yeah, they ruled it looked like that Davison had basketball as he came through to strip, but Awasika got a piece of him. Not going to be a shooting foul, looks like. It was on the drive.
Johnson to Witt. Witt blowing by Awasika and able to score. Witt with 7 early points, and it's 12-4.
Maple Grove not doing a great job of help defense. One-on-one, Witt has shown an ability to go past them.
Davison trapped at the sideline. Looks like we're going to get a foul on the Rebels.
There's Witt, and not going to lie there, I'm not so sure he didn't get away with a quick shuffle. I thought so initially, and looking at it again, he might have. And then Maple Grove got bailed out a little bit in front of Champlin Park's bench as Davison was in trouble and ended up being fouled there. I believe they got Smith with that one.
Awasika back out to Matt Lindgren. Now Davison. Good pass left side, Pickford, and that is open in for a 3.
Good screen there to set that one up. Maple Grove taking advantage there of an aggressive Champlin Park D. They caught them with that high screen.
Witt pulls up glass and good.
That time Awasika did a pretty good job of getting in front of him, and Witt just bounced off his body and still able to bank it home.
And Witt likes that matchup. He thinks he can take Awasika off the dribble, and he'd be able to do that and score here.
Yeah, he got 2 quick fouls on Nico, and then he's attacking against Awasika as well.
Five minutes in, 14-7, Champlin Park leading. Davison drives. He'll go up. His shot blocked. Knocked away. Champlin Park back the other way. Smith loses the dribble for a moment. Now gets it back. Witt down low to Hill, and his shot blocked by Davison. Pass to the front court. Lindgren will let go from the right side. In and out, not good. On the floor, off Champlin Park's Johnson.
Good recovery here by Davison. This looked like it was going to be a layup, and that's certainly what Hill thought. But he lost the option to go up on the front side without a reverse there because the pass got there just a touch late. And we're going to have a foul away from the ball there on Brian Fatso. He was backing his defender down, and he just kept running and backing him 10 feet out of there, all the way out of bounds. And they said, we're not going to let that go.
McKinley Wright is number 20 in the game for Champlin Park. This is Witt again to the basket. Not good. Tip foul won't go. Scramble on the floor. Witt gets to it. Loose ball, and is it going to be off? It's like it's off the Rebels player Marty Hill, and it's Maple Grove basketball.
The official almost kind of got caught up in that play. A tough call for him to make, so he had to go for help up top as he was too close to make the call.
Davison. Now it's Fatso. Barker into the corner. Pickford. Davison back to Pickford. And back out to Davison. Pickford down the baseline, good pass. Barker goes back out with the ball. Hit shot missed by Pickford. Out of bounds. It's over to Champlin Park.
Looked like the Crimson were going to have a layup there, but somebody got a piece of that ball. Barker made a nice shot fake, but it allowed a little bit of time for the next defender to get down there and strip that ball away from him, and he had to pass up a shot. So good quickness by Champlin Park. I mean, it wasn't an ideal way for it to develop for them, but they didn't give up an easy two like it looked like they might.
Here's Witt. Skip pass across. Johnson lost it, gets it back out. Gibson. Drive into the lane, a pass deflects out of bounds. Still Rebel basketball off Alec Lebo's pass. Marty Hill into Wright. Wright drives and scores.
Nice crossover out at about the free throw line. He did it early enough that he still had room to make a move from there, and just a great finish right there for Wright.
Open is Lindgren for three and pops it in.
He's a shooter, and the Rebels gambled a little bit trying to trap and didn't get it.
Whistle offensive foul on Wright.
They were calling that one before anything happened. Flop City. Another look at this one as Lindgren had a unique form there, but you can tell he's a guy who can make shots. Give credit to Maple Grove for taking the supposed charge there, but I'm not too sure.
Davison. Pickford. Right to Collins is number 12. And back to Davison. Collins baseline line left drive, then gets it back out, and the jumper knocked down by Davison from 15.
Well, after they cut down on the turnovers, Maple Grove's actually been fairly efficient on the offensive end. They've got some guys who can score the ball, and they're very much where they want to be now after that bad start.
Right corner is Hill. Goes back out. Lebo three is good.
Lebo is one of those guys that's really helped their bench just to have a good effect on the outcome of games. You know, and maybe not going to play as many minutes as the starters, but he gets in there and does a solid job for them.
Hill rebounds the miss. Head to Lebo, left side. And there'll be two shots for Wright at the line.
Maple Grove got a little too eager to try and block this shot here. They were in decent defensive position, but watch them come down hard on the ball. And obviously, you're not going to get away with swinging down across somebody's arm like that. And they didn't give up the layup, though. That's a good point.
Fouls on Pickford, his first, 15th foul on the Crimson. One more foul shot coming for the freshman McKinley Wright. Nico got those two early fouls. He is back in after nearly an 8-minute rest for Maple Grove.
It's a hard thing to ask a guy to come back. If he were to sit out all the way until the second half to expect him to come in and be effective. And I think this is a good move. I honestly think a lot of times coaches are so worried about saving a guy that they end up not using them.
Lindgren's pass deflected. It's a turnover for the Crimson. Lebo back. Alex Hilly for a three. Back iron won't go. Nico rebounds. Davison on the reach around foul. Whistled against Champlin Park on Marty Hill. Hill's first, 14th foul on the Rebels. Past the halfway point of the opening half. Davison drive, scoops it, missed it. Hilly gathers in the rebound. Lebo open left corner, missed badly, rebounded by Collins.
I think the defender was a little closer to him than he realized, and he had to rush that shot.
Pickford drive, his shot blocked by Hilly.
Good block. It looked like Pickford had that lane.
Hill to Lebo will get a foul on Hill.
Left his feet to make that pass. Here's another look as he'll drop it off to Lebo, and the foul had already occurred prior to that. And unfortunately so for Maple Grove, they were kind of holding their breath that it wasn't going to be another foul on Nico, but the whistle had clearly sounded before he tried to block that shot.
So 2 fouls now on Marty Hill, and he'll come out. Pickford baseline. They still scoop off for Nico for 2.
Good hands too by the big guy. That was a little bit of a tough pass right in traffic, and able to avoid traveling and also make a clean catch.
Hilly open right side. Miss. Witt able to tip it. Smith back out. Lebo, his shot won't go. Witt rebounds. Another chance. Now it's Gibson, and they'll reset. Lebo for 3, in and out. Davison grabs the board, pulls it out of traffic. Right wing Collins.
Interesting matchup. JT Gibson was briefly on Nico. Now Witt switching back onto him.
Davison trying to feed it down to Nico, and it's off him and out of bounds.
Tough ball to sneak through there, and forced pass there by Davison a little bit. I don't think the defense reacted the way he thought they were going to. They bluffed toward him and then dropped back to get in the way of that pass.
What's that last possession for Champlin Park? And they've gone a little bit cold from the field. But you guys are certainly fearless shooters, Jay. They're not afraid to launch the ball.
Yeah, they've kind of gotten out of rhythm a little bit. I think Maple Grove's done a nice job of that. And when you're used to playing fast, you even want to play fast. And when you're shooting jump shots, and you get in a rhythm. And right now they're a little bit out of that. But you're right. A guy even like Lebo, he's not going to stop shooting if he's open.
Davison up to Barker. Davison guarded by Lebo, spins inside him, pull up jumper off the mark, offensive rebound, put back up and in. Basket by Taylor, shot, and a timeout.
Mark Tucksher didn't like what he's seen of late there. Jeremy Johnson actually gave some real good help D, but it also then, you see he came over and forced that miss. But then it was kind of a 2-on-1 underneath. There were 2 Maple Grove guys and only 1 defensive rebounder there, Witt, and Schott was able to do a good job of getting to it. So sometimes even though you miss a shot like that, the fact that you broke that defense down a little bit enabled your guy to get in position, get a rebound there, and that's exactly what happened. So in a lot of ways, Maple Grove, again, without the early succession of turnovers, has done a pretty good job of getting into what they want to get into, and slowing Champlin Park down. They're not shutting them down entirely, but they're certainly probably not on the pace that they often are at this point in the game, and what they'd like to be at.
Rebels scored the first 8 points of the game. They still lead it, but now the margin just 3.
Maple Grove switching to his zone these last couple of possessions, looking to trap the ball a little bit too.
In the paint, Witts scores.
Just a great move from about the free throw line, 1 hard dribble, and he can finish with either hand.
11 points for him. Ball knocked away. Here's Champlin Park back. Lebo on the pass from Smith.
Kind of fitting that he gets the hoop because he's the one who stripped it away over to Smith, and perfectly run break there for the Rebels.
Double team Davison again on the ball. Knock it away again. Lebo ahead to Smith. Barker got back into the play for Maple Grove and does enough to get back into the play and forces Champlin Park to give it back. Ball off the Rebels.
Even though that one didn't turn into a hoop, though, you've got to be concerned if you're Maple Grove, picking up that dribble out high and then giving the ball up. I mean, it's, you never like a turnover, but obviously one at that spot right in the middle of the court between the top of the key and half court is a very bad place to have a turnover.
Davison, three-point shot, a whistle. Foul away from the basketball. On Witt. That'll be 2 on Brennan Witt.
I think running through a screen there, trying to get out. He knocked Barker to the ground right there.
Off the inbound, an easy 2.
Rebels fell asleep there and shot, did a great job recognizing it. Just basically a dive to the rim and got an easy layup.
JT Gibson with a 3. First points of the night for the junior guard.
Now that's a long shot, but he had room to step into it with confidence and on time there as that pass hit him right where it should in the chest.
Gibson averages 11.2 per game, his first bucket tonight. Puts the margin back up to 8 points. Lob down low. Nico up. Can't get it to go, but he will shoot 2. Fouled by Wright.
And obviously with foul trouble, we haven't seen as much of Reed as we might have normally, but that's the one spot that, you know, you kind of wondered, okay, would they be able to take advantage of the fact that they've got some size up front, not just with Nico, but so far they haven't been able to put the ball inside all that well, but a good look there and a good opportunity. And anytime you can draw a foul inside too, it's all the better.
Second one off the mark, so 1 out of 2 for Nico. On the rebound to Jeremy Johnson. Smith pull up from 15. Witt there for the offensive board and couldn't finish. Closing in on 4 minutes to go in the half. Davison all the way scores.
Just kept that dribble going and said, if you're not going to stop me, I'm going to take this layup. I think they were conscious of a pass and didn't really ever stop the ball.
Davison leading Maple Grove with 8 points tonight. Johnson open for a 3. Long rebound on the floor and great hustle by Barker to get it. Got it to shot and Davison into the front court. Shot backs out, gets it to Lindgren and back to Davison. And the ball stripped away. And Gibson with the basket.
Quick hands right there for Gibson.
Margin at 7 points. Barker across for Davison. Barker lobbing it down low. Baseline left, in and out. Good shot from Nico, but it wouldn't drop. Davison able to keep it in Maple Grove's possession at midcourt, then down to Nico. This time it's in.
Strong finish there, but a great pass too by Barker.
Gibson for 3 from Smith.
Same shot, except right side this time instead of left.
8 points now for Gibson. Here's Lindgren. His shot off the mark. Rebound to Brendan Witt. Running the floor for the Rebels. Smith down low for Witt, trying to reverse, and a foul on Nico, and that will be his 3rd.
Almost got him to halftime, still at 2, but Reed will pick up number 3 right there, and it's going to send him back to the bench, it looks like.
Witt missing on the free throw. Just 1 out of 5 from the line tonight. Osseo back in for Maple Grove, and Lebo for Champlin Park. Also Pickford returning for the Crimson. Second one in for Witt. And he'll get a break now with 2 fouls, presumably for the rest of the half, and Alakili back in.
Witt's got to be thinking, well, I'm having a pretty good game anyway, but if I had been able to make free throws, I'd really have a nice total going.
Davison, Lindgren into Osseo. Davison faking 3 and back out with the pass. Rebels closed pretty quickly on the ball, Jay. I think a couple times where Maple Grove's thought about a 3, but then all of a sudden the defender's right there in their face.
Yeah, quickness helps you as much defensively as it does offensively, and they've got good quickness all around the court.
Pickford trying to get it back to a teammate, couldn't do it. And Lebo, and an awkward shot there, trying to finish, couldn't. But he's fouled.
Yeah, Lebo, I don't think they ended up calling a foul. Lebo definitely got fouled on that layup attempt, as you could kind of see on his face. I think they just ruled it out of bounds.
Hillier inbound. A minute 15 to go. Look at that one rejected by Osseo.
Jeremy Johnson might want to think twice about trying that one again. Great block. We talked about Nico being a shot blocker, and here's Osseo demonstrating the same. That was beautiful.
We'll hear from both coaches at halftime tonight. Smith. Lebo back off for Johnson. 55 seconds to go. Baseline drive, and the ball deflected and almost stolen. Well, Barker's done a really nice job doing little things well for Champlin Park, for Maple Grove in this first half. Defense getting the loose balls. Deflecting that one, although not able to get possession back for the Crimson. Lebo's long cross-court pass deflected into the backcourt. Smith kicks it out. Lebo 3 is good. Alec Lebo, a couple of 3s plus a 2. He's got 8 points. Under 30 seconds to go. Rebels' biggest lead of the night. They're up by 12. Barker across to Davison, back for Barker. Davison, long 3-pointer is good. Big basket for Maple Grove. Now Champlin Park trying to close with one late. Open 3 offside, wouldn't drop for Johnson as we go to halftime. Champlin Park with the lead after break. Our score, Rebels 35 and the Crimson 26. We'll take a break. We'll come back with more of our high school basketball coverage tonight from Champlin Park High School.
Oh, hey, bud. Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
With Gary and Todd?
Yeah.
I've been meaning to ask you, is there any drinking going on in this crowd?
No.
If any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't. I'd do anything to keep you safe.
Okay, I will.
I hope this is working.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
35-26 Rebels lead the Crimson. Let's go down to Jay Wilcox.
What your impressions overall of that first half for your team?
You know, we kind of switched up our defenses, and I thought we did a pretty nice job. I think offensively we got to stick our layups and make our free throws, and you know, it's more than a 10-point game, 9-point game right now.
You guys have been able to force a lot of turnovers, and I know that's been a key for your team all season long. Did you like what you saw in that regard, making them hurry a little bit up top?
Yeah, we held them to 26 points. I mean, that's kind of what we want. We want to, you know, force the tempo a little bit and get some turnovers, but we got to score them on the other end.
All right, Mark, thanks so much for joining us. Good luck second half here.
Thank you.
All right, Mark Tuchscherer, the head coach of the Rebels, his team up by 9 at halftime. We'll be back with more of our live coverage here of Northwest Suburban Boys Basketball on 12 Sports.
We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal.
The torch has been passed to a new generation of Americans.
The American dream need not forever be deferred.
This is the richest and the most powerful country.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life. National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life. Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life. National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life.
Some young players in Champlin Dayton Athletic Association getting a little court time here at halftime of the varsity basketball game between Champlin Park and Maple Grove, and highlights from the opening half of play. A good start for Maple Grove. Ian Smith, senior co-captain, knocking down a three-pointer. Brad Davison getting Maple Grove going. It's his first of many baskets tonight. Brennan Witt has been very tough inside for Champlin Park. Nice spin move inside there. Lay in 2 points. Three-point shot here for Kewan Pickford for Maple Grove. And here's Witt taking his man off the dribble. Off balance shot off the glass for 2 more. And Pickford this time, good assist on the basket by Reed Nico. Champlin Park able to force some turnovers. JT Gibson there with the steal and layup to help Champlin Park to a 9-point lead. Our leading scorers in the first half, Davison with 11, Nico with 5, and Schott with 4 points for Maple Grove. Witt with a dozen for Champlin Park. Gibson and Lebo 8 points apiece for Champlin Park. 35-26, the Rebels lead the Crimson. Take time out and come back with more. You're watching our live coverage of high school boys basketball from Champlin Park High School. We're back in a moment.
You always made sure I brushed my teeth.
You told me that smart was cool.
You always told me to dream big.
To all of those parents who took the time to make raising their children their most important job, we'd like to say,
thank you.
Thank you.
From the bottom of my heart, thanks, Mom and Dad.
This message is brought to you by the U.S. Air Force.
I never thought I'd miss you half as much as I do. It must be love, love, love. It must be love, love, love. Nothing more, nothing less. Love is the best.
It must be love. It must be hospice.
Oh, hey, bud. Where are you headed?
Just gonna hang out.
With Gary and Todd?
Yeah?
I've been meaning to ask you, is there any drinking going on in this crowd?
No.
If any of your buddies ever pressure you to take a drink, just tell them you promised your dad you wouldn't. I'd do anything to keep you safe.
Okay, I will.
I hope this is working.
I promise. Love you too, Dad.
They really do hear you. For tips on what to say, visit underagedrinking.samhsa.gov.
Champlin Park up by 9. Rebels out and ready for the second half. I mentioned Brennan Witt with 12 points. JT Gibson with 8. Kinley Wright and the bucket. Alec Lebo with 8. Ian Smith with 3. Jeremy Johnson with 2. That's their 35 points. We'll give you Maple Grove's total scoring in a moment. First back down to Jay Wilcox.
Thanks, John. We're with Nick Schroeder. And Nick, a difficult start for your team, but you battled back. Overall, what did you think of what you saw from your team?
Like you said, terrible start. Called that quick timeout, refocused them a little bit, came out, had a little bit better energy. We just got to take care of the basketball better. And we got to control their dribble penetration. They're just killing us. We went to a zone. They hit some threes. I think they're 5 of 12 from 3. So got to find shooters a little bit better, and hopefully the second half will do that.
Now, early on, Witt hurt you guys a lot and got into foul trouble, but did you feel like defensively, as you went on, things got better that way?
Not really. Wasn't real happy with our defensive effort, so we got to do a better job in the second half.
All right, thanks very much, Nick. Is his team trailing at 35-26, heading into half number 2. Back up to you, John.
All right, thanks very much, Jay. As we talked about before we went to break earlier, Davison, their leading scorer, has 11 points. Nico with 5. Taylor Schott 4, Matt Lindgren with 3, and Taiwan Pickford has their other 3 points. No points yet for Tyler Barker. Maple Grove has gone 9 deep so far. Champlin Park 8 players deep, and it's Crimson with the first possession of the second half, looking to cut into this 9-point deficit. They've been down by as many as 12. Davison, left side, skip pass across to Lindgren. Through the hands of Nico, comes to Barker. Good ball move, but then it ends in a turnover. Gibson takes it all the way himself and scores.
Picking up where they started in that first half. Turnover leading directly to a hoop.
Davison. They get it inside. Nico throws down 2. Well, that was kind of their game plan coming into this one, Jays, to try to beat Champlin Park inside. They haven't had the opportunity to do that much so far tonight. Gibson, that's flying. That's down a 3.
Boy, the ball moving around so quickly that he was just ready for that catch and shoot, and Rebels showing what they can do offensively. A lot of different guys can score it.
We'll go to Nico again inside, high off the glass. I don't know if Smith got a piece of that one or not, or Gibson rather, and then Smith pass missing Johnson. It's a turnover for the Rebels.
Yeah, Gibson definitely was up to challenge that one. It was hard to tell if he got a piece of the ball or a little bit of the arm or maybe a little bit of both, but I'm sure Nico was thinking, you know, hey, at the other end, that's probably going to be a foul on me after the way things have gone so far, but didn't get the call that time.
Ball kicked by Hill. So no turnover. It's still Maple Grove basketball. Pickford in for Barker for Maple Grove. Davison to Pickford. Left corner, feed it in to Nico. A turn, soft shot won't go. Witt rebounds. Smith ahead of the front court. Nice dish off, then it's Johnson. And he hits the shot.
Another great transition bucket there, even though it's not something in the lane. You get there before the defense can get set up, and they all seem to have the green light to let them fly from out there.
Witt blocking it out of bounds.
Another look at this one as Hill makes him think he's going to go to the hoop and then just drops it off. Jeremy Johnson steps up and nails the 3. You know, up until right before halftime, you kind of had the feeling that Maple Grove was doing a lot of the things that they wanted to do, and now all of a sudden you look up and it was 15 now, dropping down to 12 with that hoop, but it can get away from you in a hurry against Champlin Park, as no doubt a lot of their opponents have found out this year.
Move the ball well again. This shot won't go for Johnson, about the same spot, but Witt is there, gets the basket on the second chance points for Champlin Park.
Well, Witt has some deceptive hops there a little bit. He's a good rebounder. Gets off the floor in a hurry and able to finish strong there too.
Pickford's pass thrown away. Steal by Hill, who's fouled.
You get the feeling this, even though there's still a ton of time to go, this is kind of a crucial time here for Maple Grove. If things continue the way they have been to start this half, then they're not going to be back in this game.
Maple Grove foul on Davison is his first. Ian Smith picked up the dribble. Gets out of trouble though in a hurry. Gibson now to Johnson. And back out Ian Smith. Don't need to rush anything here if you're Champlin Park, and they find the open man down low and an easy 2 for Johnson.
Boy, they've come out with good possessions basically every time they've had the ball in the second half, with the exception of that one early turnover.
Davison misses the 3. Johnson rebounds. Smith ahead. Gibson left side 3. It's good. This is getting away from Maple Grove, and Nick Schroeder calls timeout.
Wow, Champlin Park's really rolling right now. And their first half I thought was okay, but not great by their standards. And early second half, they have just looked dynamite, and you can see. And you know, John, as much as the skill level on this team is very high, I think what maybe impresses me more than anything is the way that they are willing to share the ball. Not just willing, but want to. You really get the feeling that Gibson and Witt and you know, all the frontline guys, Smith, they don't care who scores as long as the ball winds up in the hoop. And they're unselfish, and they got really skill at basically all 5 spots, and a fun team to watch when they get it rolling. Now for Maple Grove, it's not so fun to watch, and they've got some things that they need to get corrected a little bit. You know, it used to be when a team was running the ball back at you, you'd hurry back and take away a layup and figure your job was done. Well, you look at Champlin Park, they're as likely to kill you with a 3-pointer off transition as with a layup. So you got to be conscious of shooters out there as well, and that's where they catch teams. When you're running back on D, your first thought is get back, then I got to find my man. Well, that's not happening quick enough in most of those cases.
By the time you do that, the ball's in the basket.
Yeah, exactly. And you see just the confidence level, too, with Champlin Park's guys. When they're scoring as much as they are this year, you know, they're not worried if maybe they take one shot that's too quick, or maybe they shoot an air ball. It's not really going to stop them from continuing to attack.
Pickford attacks here, comes up short on the shot, and Gibson fouled from behind, and that'll be Nico's 4th.
It's just not been his night in that regard here tonight, and Gibson did a good job of being strong with the ball. To start it out, looked like they both kind of had their hands on it, but Gibson was able to pull it into his body, and that left Nico more or less hanging over the back, and that one's going to be called on the player behind virtually every time.
Johnson off for Witt, reverse, blocked by Shot, and then a foul in the backcourt on Johnson.
Well, Witt's human. Sometimes they don't go in. Nice block there by Shot as he went to the reverse.
Second foul on Johnson. First team foul of the half on the Rebels. Davison in, Fatso up and in. First basket tonight for the senior. Smith to Witt. Witt to the basket, blocked by Fatso. Able to give it up on the pass to Davison. Behind his back, and a nice finish by Pickford.
Well, there's a great sequence for Maple Grove. You get the shot block at one end, nice penetration, and dish over for a layup. They're just going to need a lot more of that to battle their way back into this.
Smith for Gibson.
Offensive foul going to be on Smith. Another look at this one. You see the good D by Fatso, stayed with it, and then they get the quick outlet. And Davison does a nice job, goes behind the back, and then shovels it over and Pickford the layup. What they called on that last one was Smith passed the ball off to Gibson, and then he tried to make it look like he was just making a cut away from the ball and ran into a defensive player, and they rule kind of like a pick play on a wide receiver running across the middle there.
Collins to Pickford. Floats one in for the baseline for 2 more.
There is still time for Maple Grove, and they've seemingly done a fairly good job of not panicking here. I mean, the margin's still bigger than they'd like, but got to take it one possession at a time and get another good play like this.
Davison the steal, goes to the basket, blocked by Gibson. Back comes Smith, has Hill ahead of the play, and he'll finish at the basket. Well, that had a chance, Jay, to be an 8-0 run and an 11-point game. Instead, it's a turnover the other way, and now the margin back to 15. And then they get another steal, ball knocked away out of bounds. And it'll be off Champlin Park.
Another look at this. Great job on the block by Gibson. And then they get out and running. And you know, I got to give credit where credit's due to the official. I think a lot of guys would see Gibson cut in front of a player like that and think, it must have been a foul. But it did look like he got basically all basketball there, and I think a good no call. And maybe Davison probably doesn't agree, but it seemed like he had mostly basketball there.
So it's still 52-37. Collins is fouled on his way to the hoop, and the sophomore will go to the line for 2.
Are going to call it a shooting foul there. It looked like at the end he might have been going to dish off to Fatso, but I think you have to give him the benefit of the doubt that he was trying to get the ball up through the hoop.
You look at Isaac Collins, and remember what good season he had in football, and what a weapon he's going to be on the football field the next couple of seasons for a very good Crimson program, Jay.
No doubt, and he's just as good, maybe better in baseball too.
Right.
He's a great athlete. And Isaac had a great assist to help them win their last game in the Bethel tournament. Down the stretch run against Jefferson, drove to the hoop and laid it off for a layup. And that has to be one of their kind of highlight wins of the season, I think.
Well, and you remember how good his older brother was in both those sports too, in baseball and football. Roman.
Yeah, Roman had one of the more amazing playoff games. Football up at St. Michael, Albertville. He just had a night where he did a little bit of everything for the Crimson and Coach Lombardi's first year over there. They won big in that first playoff game.
Traveling whistled against Gibson.
Champlin Park has to be careful that they don't get a little too comfortable. Everything was flowing so easily for them for a while. You have to keep the intensity up.
Lindgren able to dish it down to Davison.
Well, I have to admit, when Davison went up, I thought Witt had this timed perfectly. He's probably going to get a block, but he did a good job of getting the ball up quickly and high on the glass.
Lebo. Witt got the pass off. They go to the corner. Hilly, an open three. Look, won't go down. Ball tipped. Witt had a hand on it, but couldn't get control, and Davison has it for Maple Grove.
Maple Grove, I think, is competing harder defensively these last few possessions.
Collins, the basket, blocked out of bounds by Witt.
Well, it was one play later than I thought Witt was going to block a shot there, but he got to that one. You see Collins, he knew he had to get this thing up in a hurry, but it wasn't quick enough, and Witt timed it out nicely.
There's still a margin that Maple Grove could make a run here. They've cut into that 19-point deficit. A couple of tries there won't go, though. Get it down to single digits, and back come the Rebels. Inside, Witt. Great pass without high from Gibson in the basket for Brennan Witt. He's got 16.
And Witt doing a great job of getting to the spot where he's available for that pass, too. Sometimes you don't get a good angle or you're not on a good plane with the passer, but he was that time, and they are able to get the easy two.
.9:35 to play. Pickford can't get it to go. Witt with the rebound. And missed on the outlet pass. It's intercepted by Collins. Davison off to Pickford, knocked away. And then Pickford fouled on the way back up.
Gibson going to be called for the reach in there. Maple Grove able to use a little bit of Champlin Park's own medicine there. Collins did a real nice job of reading that outlet to steal it. And there's another look. Pickford went into Witt, and I think Witt was okay clean. Gibson wanted a jump ball call, but they ruled that he got a little more arm than basketball there.
First foul of the game on Gibson. He'll come out. Ian Smith back in. Pickford 8 points off the bench tonight. That's down the second one. Once again, an 11-point game.
Now Maple Grove has to, have a short memory. Forget about those stretches where things weren't going well, and they've battled back. I mean, they're still in this.
Smith for Witt coming down the lane. Won't go. Ball tipped to Witt. Blocked out of bounds.
Another look as Witt, the catch in traffic, misses and close. And then it looked like he was going to get an easy one, but Maple Grove did a good job recovering there. Thought so.
3-point try for Smith, not good. Johnson for Witt down the lane, and he's fouled by Fatso, and will go to the line.
Boy, Witt does such a nice job of just going straight to the hole there with some quickness. I mean, he catches the ball out high, and he's putting it on the deck, and you see he got hit pretty solidly on the arm on the way in there. Tough one to finish.
foul shot coming for Witt. It's 1 on the 2. Maple Grove needs another run in them. It's got plenty of time. Let's get inside this 10-point margin at some point. Now traveling whistled against Collin. Good pressure on the ball by McKinley Wright, helping to force that turnover.
Wright's another guy that comes off that bench that he's a good ball player. I mean, probably would start on some teams, but gives them good minutes along with Lebo.
Foul whistled on Osseo. Second on Bryan. And Witt back to the line. Excuse me.
Sorry, John. I don't think you mind that one if you're Maple Grove, though. You're not going to give the layup to Witt. Osseo was up challenging. You know, and almost had a good block there. Forced Witt to earn it at the line, where he's been not that good tonight, but he makes that first one.
4 of 9 from the free throw line for Witt. Makes them both here, though. Now 19 on the night, and the lead is 14. Davison to Collins. Pickford. Missed on the wing, rebound by Wright. Smith, and then the three-point try banked in by Lebo.
I don't think he called glass there, but they'll take it.
Pickford the other way. Too strong. Osseo rebounds, and he's fouled before the shot.
Lebo had plenty of muscle on this one as he's able to bank it in from downtown. You see the smile there. Actually, a pretty good foul here by Witt. I think Osseo was going to have a layup if he didn't foul him there, although it is his third.
Davison. Lindgren down low. Osseo with a one-hander won't go. Witt rebounds. Smith to the basket. Can't get it to drop.
This zone defense, a little bit unusual, I think, for Champlin Park, but they've used it with some effectiveness. But now Wright will be called for the reach-in. Coach Tucker talked a little bit about it at halftime.
Third foul on McKinley Wright. Excuse me, second foul. 16 fouls on the Rebels. Inbound play for Davison and Maple Grove.
Crimson coming back with Nico, figuring might as well give him a chance to get in there and make some things happen. He's got 4 fouls, but no point in saving him now. They're down 17.
Lindgren open 3. Missed and rebounded by Johnson. Witt finds the cutter. Johnson coming down the lane.
Maple Grove just turned their head to look at that pass a little bit, and Johnson made a great basket cut there. Too easy, though, if you're Nick Schroeder. Can't have that happen.
Lob down low. Witt got his hand on it. Forces the turnover for Champlin Park. Johnson thought about the 3. Now goes in for an open 12-footer and scores.
Good patience there. That was a shot that he could have taken. Nobody would have said much, but he realized that the D really wasn't out on him at all, and he just came a little bit closer. And now Coach Schroeder's using a timeout. And like we talked about before, you can chip away and you feel like you're back in it, and then all of a sudden you look up and it's a 19-point game. Champlin Park's just efficient. Good footwork there by Johnson, too. Gets that shot up there quickly before the shot blocker Nico can get there, and you're seeing a lot of the reason why Champlin Park is leading the conference right now.
You know, we talked about the scorers, 5 guys averaging double figures for this team. Tonight, 3 in double figures. Witt's got 19, Johnson 9 in this half, 11 for the game, 16 for Gibson. And off the bench, Lebo with 11 points.
Yeah, they are a deep team too. It isn't just the starting group that gets it done for this Champlin Park squad. And obviously, you know, things can happen. You get injuries, you get fouls, things like that, and you're going to need guys like that to come up big. Hilly at times has had some good games off the bench for them as well. Hasn't had a lot of opportunity tonight, but obviously Wright is a capable player off their bench, and they're without Jack Garnell tonight, who's kind of one of their few guys with some bulk up front, a 6'4" junior who is they're hoping to get back soon and not playing here this evening. So they've got a quality bench too.
.6:17 to go, and Champlin Park looking, Jay, like they'll go to 11-0 in the conference and facing that big showdown with Armstrong Friday night.
I don't think it's a surprise that Champlin Park's maybe in the spot that they're in. People expected to come in. Armstrong maybe just a little bit of a surprise. I don't think anybody would have said that they won't be a good team or won't be maybe top 3 or 4 in the league. But right now, after knocking off Osseo especially, Armstrong, I'm sure, is going to be sky high for that one at their place, trying to knock off Champlin Park on Friday. That should be a great game.
Armstrong coming into play tonight, 1 game back. They're playing Park Center this evening. Collins is fouled. They'll go to the line for 2.
Yeah, that's a good point there. Armstrong, you know, has to get by tonight as well, and not an easy place to play, you know, in that little gym over at Park Center. That's a team that, if you're not careful, can put one on you too. Obviously, the Pirates won the conference a year ago and lost a lot to graduation. I mean, obviously, it's not the same team, but they're still a quality team.
1 out of 2 for Collins. Smith will walk it up. Champlin Park, original starting 5 out on the floor right now, and out of bounds. Trapped by Maple Grove on the sideline. They forced a turnover. I'm sure they thought it was off the Maple Grove guy, but Witt, Hill, Johnson, Gibson, and Smith on the floor for Champlin Park. Pickford, Lindgren, Collins, Nico, and Davison for Maple Grove, and they turn it right back to Champlin Park.
Dangerous pass to try and sneak in the baseline. Those baseline cross-court passes are, you know, a lot of times they look real enticing, but getting the ball there at that angle is a lot of times pretty tough.
Smith finds the open guy, Gibson, off the mark from the corner. Ball tipped out. And then down low to Witt, who scores, and he's fouled. Nice assist from Ian Smith. Finds his fellow co-captain down low, and he scores, and fouls, and Nico fouls out.
Good eye from the top there to whip that one back down to Witt, and I think Witt had ideas of dunking that one, and Nico was not going to let that happen, and ends up fouling out on that play. And you know, you always hate to see that when a guy doesn't get to play that often or that much because of fouls, but sometimes it happens. That's part of the game, and Champlin Park did a good job very early on attacking Nico with Witt one-on-one.
Witt now hit his last 4 free throws, 22 on the night. And another turnover for the Crimson. They've a couple of bad turnovers in the last few possessions. Look at that last basket, Jay. Nice job to tip the ball back out by Marty Hill. Didn't officially get an assist, but he kept that play alive.
Yeah, and that when you're when things are rolling for you, those are the type of buckets you get. I mean, an air ball from the corner leads to a hoop.
Smith turns, spins it back out. Gibson finds the open guy Johnson, who's hesitated and then shuffled his feet, traveling. Three-point try let go by Collins at the other end. Pickford with the rebound off the miss, and he's going back to the free throw line for 2.
Pickford wasn't going to let any of those shot blockers line him up there. He just kind of jumped at a Rebel and moved to the side. I think he just surprised them with the move that he made there, and they were kind of just wrong place, wrong time there was Hill.
Pickford has made all 4 of his free throws here in the second half. And Maple Grove unable to overcome that early deficit. And a couple of runs to get within a reasonable distance, but couldn't get it inside of single digits after the start of the second half. And a three-point shot for Ian Smith. Hasn't scored much tonight, Jay, but he's certainly been a big part of this offense. Play collegiate basketball at South Dakota State next year.
And that's what I was talking about earlier, that I think sometimes, you know, you see teams where a guy feels like, oh, I've only got 4 points and it's getting late. I mean, this team doesn't seem like that. They truly seem to say whoever's the open guy is the guy who's going to get the ball. And, you know, really, and I think it's a good job, too, of recognizing that a college coach who comes and watches them isn't going to care if they don't light it up on the scoreboard. They're going to watch the little things they do. Do they share the ball? Do they make the right play?
A nice dribble by Smith as he went to the basket.
Maple Grove got a piece of that one as it winds up off the shot clock or basket support. Great move here, but Maple Grove decided he wasn't going to get all the way to the hoop here, and you see as he passed it off, it hit Fatso.
Marty Hill's jumper, short, but he gets his own rebound. Feeds it to Witt. Ran into Davison, back out to the corner, and a three-pointer knocked down by Marty Hill.
Well, we've talked about a lot of the reasons for why Champlin Park is in the lead tonight, and there's another one. How many offensive rebounds have they gotten second cracks at it on in a variety of ways? And that's exactly what happens here. It's just a killer when you force a miss, but then you give up another 3 still on the possession.
Shot from the corner missed by Pickford, out of bounds. It's Champlin Park ball.
Maple Grove, you know, you see the margin what it is now, and they're getting a little impatient at times taking shots, which, you know, is very understandable considering what they're down by, and just kind of gotten away from them, no doubt. Or Champlin Park's taken it away is probably the more accurate way to put it.
Hill looking at that 3 again. Gives it off to Wright. Back out. Johnson's 3 and won't go. All tipped out to Lebo. Hill backing it out to midcourt with 2.5 minutes to go. To the corner to Lebo. Oh, pass trying to get it for Johnson, intercepted by Collins. Ahead on the break, Pickford hit the underside of the basket. Fatso there, the offensive rebound, and scores, and he's fouled.
Crimson continuing to run the floor hard anyway, which you like to see at this point. Looked like they were going to get the layup, but you see Pickford was just running out of room a little bit there, and the Rebels got a little bit of a block on it, but Fatso able to follow up.
Free throw won't go for Fatso. Rebound by Hill. Johnson from Lebo. Here's Hilly. Johnson double team, lost the ball, got it back. Will drive it and can't finish. The rebound pulled out by Schott. Barker, front court, Pickford. Missed it, but he's fouled by Lebo.
Lebo obviously didn't want to foul him in that spot, give him 3 chances at the line.
One more coming. Pickford's missed the first 2. Missed them all. Rebound by Hill. And to Johnson for the layup.
Well, that kind of sums up the night for Maple Grove there. They missed the free throws, and then the Rebels running it back hard.
Barker in some traffic, kicks it out. Collins 3, that one's good. There's a Collins, a couple of late threes here. Right back out. Hill and Pickford defending well, helps force that turnover. Spin by Barker off the glass, won't go. A minute to go as Lebo gets it to right and into the front court. Cross for Johnson, back out to right. Lebo trying to get it back for Johnson, missed him and out of bounds. Turnover with 39 seconds to play.
And Mark Tuxer gave him a look, and Lebo, it felt like everything was there for that give and go, but it just didn't quite hook up.
Collins from 15 won't go. Tie up Fatso. And Hill, official steps in, and didn't look like anything was going to come out of that, but foul on Hill. It's his 4th with 31 seconds to go. Fatso with 5 points, all here in the second half. A long night for Nick Schroeder's club. They don't have much time to regroup and play the number 2 team in the state, the only team that has beaten Champlin Park this season. Hopkins coming up on Thursday.
Yeah, it doesn't get any easier, does it?
No. 20 seconds to play. Hilly back out to right. Hill to Johnson. Back to right. No need to shoot another one. 10 seconds to play. Fatso knocked it away. Got it for Pickford, up and in. And as the game comes to an end, the Champlin Park lead never was really seriously threatened. They were up by 9 at halftime. Had a little burst coming out of the second half. Got it to 19. Maple Grove got it as close as 11, but that was it. And then the final margin, 18 points. So a season sweep in the regular season for Champlin Park over Maple Grove. They've won 7 of the last 10 in this series, and they win it tonight. They are unbeaten in the conference. We'll take a break. Come back. Jay Wilcox will hear from a couple of the Rebels winners in a moment. You're watching high school boys basketball coverage on Channel 12.
Think you found every hazard out here today? Think again. The spot you missed could be a killer. That spot on your skin could be skin cancer. If you're a man over 50, you're in a group most likely to develop skin cancer, including melanoma, the kind that kills 1 person every hour. That's why your best shot is to check for a spot. It's easy. follow through and check your skin. Go to spotskincancer.org to find out how. A message from the American Academy of Dermatology.
Just a reminder, kids who participate in high school activities tend to go a little farther than those who don't. Take part. Get set for life. National studies show that students who participate in activities like music, sports, and drama not only have better grades and attendance, but they develop the character to handle adversity, the grace to accept defeat, and the self-confidence to start over. Take part. Get set for life.
Champlin Park wins it tonight. They go to 16-1 on the season, winning 75-57 over Maple Grove. Let's go back one more time to Jay Wilcox.
Thanks, John. We're with a couple of the Rebels that had good nights, and a lot of guys on this team have good nights. That's the way it's been all year. But how did you feel, Brennan Witt, about how your team played out here against Maple Grove tonight?
Really good. We played as a team. We knew it coming into this game would be a good game. We only beat them by 3 last time, so we kept our focus and we played a good game.
You were able to get an early foul trouble on their center. Was that a plan of attack, or was it just what it presented to you guys out there?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That was on the board in the locker room. Take it right at the guy, face up right on him, and take it at him all game, and it worked.
A couple of times they seemed to catch up a little bit, but you guys just turned it on. You know, it would go from 11 up to 19 in a hurry, and is that the way you guys kind of like to put the pressure on teams, just pull away from them in a quick burst like that?
Yeah. That's what we like to do. We always like to push up the ball on the sidelines. Usually when it gets back, we're obviously not doing something right. We're slow with the ball, so we always got to keep pushing, and that's usually when the game spreads apart like that.
Got the second place team in the conference coming up Friday night over at Armstrong. How much you look forward to playing those guys again?
Oh, that's another huge game. So we'll go into there, we'll be ready, we'll be focused, and hopefully we can get another W.
All right, Brendan, nice job here tonight, and good luck Friday.
Yeah, thank you.
And JT Gibson knocking down jumpers out there on the wing. You guys have so many different weapons. How much fun is it to know that you can score in so many different ways with this team?
It's very fun. You know, it means you basically can't guard us all at one time. So many weapons on our team, just have fun with it.
You guys forced an awful lot of turnovers tonight, too, and just a lot of guys with kind of quick hands out there on top, forcing things. Is that you guys kind of look to pounce on opportunities when you see the ball out there for you?
Oh, yeah, definitely. It helps us just to basically when we tip it, get it still, and we're out in transition in a fast break.
Maple Grove's kind of in the middle of the conference, but they played you guys real close the first time. Do you think that helped your team's focus tonight because you saw that they were capable of staying with you that first time?
Oh, yeah, definitely, because we're never satisfied. You know we didn't play well the first time against them, so we wanted to prove something to ourselves.
Another team that's had a great year, Armstrong, coming up Friday night. I know you guys got them the first time around. What will it take to make it 2 for 2 against them?
Oh, we just need to be focused, locked in, everybody's on it, and mentally ready to play a good game.
All right, thanks for joining us, and fun watching you guys tonight, and it'll be a great one on Friday.
Yes, it will. Thanks.
All right, JT Gibson with Champlin Park as they beat Maple Grove for a second time this season here tonight. Let's go back up to John for some final thoughts.
Thanks very much, Jay. And Champlin Park, as Jay mentioned kind of right at the start of that, working again as a team. That's what they do. 11 three-pointers tonight. Brendan Witt able to score inside, but knocking down on the outside. And another team victory for that group of young men. They win it 75-57. They go to 16-1 in the overall and 11-0 in the conference. Maple Grove dropping to 11-6 and now 6-6 in conference games. That does it for our telecast tonight. For Jay Wilcox and all of our crew, I'm John Jacobson. Thanks for tuning in for high school basketball tonight on 12 Sports.